Well, we had to kick Wendy Ross off the set for just a minute because we have a very special guest. We have the Green Hornet here, Yannick Gingras, happy to join us. Happy New Year. You had a great 2014. Welcome back to the Meadowlands in 2015.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's definitely nice to be back. The vacation was nice. Almost 3 weeks off. Did us some good, spent some time with the kids. But now I'm fresh and ready to go.
Now you look very tan. You were somewhere warm, weren't you?
Yeah, Puerto Rico. We spent a week in Puerto Rico. We had a good time, a lot of beach time, a little bit of snorkeling, and it was all good.
Now, you're back in New Jersey now. It's cold, and you're from Canada, so I'm sure you enjoy that. I see on your Facebook page your backyard is probably one of the coolest places to hang out this time of year, right?
Right now it is. No snow, and so it's not too hard on me to shovel it off, but we do have an ice rink in the backyard, so it's the cold weather is actually kind of nice. I don't enjoy it being on the racetrack, but it's good for my son. He's happy.
Yeah, having an ice rink in your backyard is pretty awesome, especially if you like hockey, which I'm sure your family, I know you guys do. Now, as far as racing goes, recently for you had a trip over to Paris to drive Maven in the Prix de Bourgogne. Was I close in pronouncing that?
Yeah, pretty close.
I took a little bit of French. The race didn't go as well as you would have liked with Maven, but I know the experience was great for you. Tell us about what it was like to be in Paris and race at Vincennes. What a great racetrack.
It's a beautiful racetrack. The surface is great. The racetrack is very different. The way it is, there's turns everywhere. You go a little bit downhill, then the first turn, and you go a little straightaways, and there's another one. And then you go up the backstretch, and it kind of curves in a little bit. So it's an odd racetrack. It's not like an oval like we have here. But it was a great experience. Obviously, like you said, the trip didn't work out. Followed the two favorite, and Ready Cash, unfortunately, to come up no good that day, so took us out of the race. But it was a great experience, and I would do it over again for sure. I definitely love the experience.
Now, when we watch racing from Europe, we see horses stacked like 3 wide all the way around the track, not what we're used to seeing over here. Some tracks, including the Meadowlands, have experimented with the longer distance races and the bigger fields. After racing in Europe over there and seeing that firsthand, would you like to see more of it over here?
I wouldn't mind it. If the bettors like it, it's okay. But if you're going to do bigger field, you got to make way bigger distance. And our horses are not they're not bred for that. That's the difference. Over there, a lot of these French trotters, they're bred for endurance. They're not bred for speed. Here, the horses that we have, we keep breeding speed with speed and only produce more speed. So I don't know if our horses are quite ready for that. And if you're going to have a bigger field with 12, 14, 16 horses, you got to go at least 1.5 miles. Because otherwise I feel like the horse in the back, you might as well just throw them out, whoever's going to get away near the back of the field. So, it could be a double-edged sword. So, it's not something that, I don't think, maybe we should experience it, but I don't know if the type of horses that we have are ready for that.
Now, that was a great experience with the huge crowds over in France, but earlier last year, September, you raced at a place called Delaware, Ohio, which had 44,000 people. You won the Little Brown Jug with Limelight Beach, who came into the race. He hadn't won it all the whole year, then he wins twice in one day. How big is that experience now that you've had some time to look back at it?
It was definitely great. Looking back at that day, it was definitely it was great, and with Vicky being there and being able to to celebrate with her. She doesn't come to a lot of the races, but so that was definitely special. But it was great that day, but it's better now. You get to look back at it. The Little Brown Jug is one of, I'd say, the top 3 races in North America. And it's definitely one that's off the bucket list, but I can win it again. That's no problem.
Yeah, you were very emotional that day. Even Ronnie Burke was crying. What's it about that race that you guys who are so tough, you win so many big races, you guys were all in tears that day?
I was in tears because he was in tears. That's his fault. But all kidding aside, it's a hard race to win. It's not only so many good horses got beat on that track. So many favorites have gotten beat on that track. So it's post position's a big factor. You got to come up good for two eat. But Ronnie Burke's always had success on in Delaware. The way his horses are trained, they're so tough. So the 2 miles, 2 trips really have never bothered any of them. And we've had good lucks in the Jugette before. We've won it twice. But it was first time at Jug, so it was definitely all special. And for him, having his whole family there, they're there for 4 or 5 days, with the camper and everything. So I think that's the part of him that got to him, to have his mom and dad, at the racetrack with him.
Now that was one of the high points of 2014 for you. One of the low points, I'm just going to bring up Hambletonian Day, that specific race with Father Patrick. Obviously, things didn't go well there, but he finished the year off the right way, winning the Breeders' Crown. And now we're going to see him in 2015. What do you think about his prospects moving forward now as a 4-year-old and eventually going to take on the aged horses?
Oh, I think he'll be fine with the age horses. At the end of the year, I would say at most he was at 75%. Hambletonian day was absolutely vicious. He just unfortunate he made a break, but and he was very good for about a month, 6 weeks after that. And then it's a long year for these horses. He was ready really early. He won the Beal. He won the the Dancer. He won a lot of big races. And at the end of the year, he was a little bit tired. Nothing wrong with that. He raced 20 times, and every one of those starts, the monkey was on his back. He was 1 to 5, 1 to 9, and you got to race him every single time. So, but the way he was, Beal time and Dancer time, I mean, I don't care who I would have said behind, who was behind me. I'd take Father Patrick over any of them. So I'm not worried about him coming back as a 4-year-old. I know it's a big step up, but he's a special horse, and I don't think it'll be a problem for him as long as he comes back to the way he was in early in the year and throughout the summer.
Now going through some of the other awesome horses that you get to drive all the time, Mission Brief. That 150-3 world record in Lexington. She won 6 of her 9 wins here at the Meadowlands, which is a good sign for her moving forward. Now, we've heard talk of maybe her going after the boys in the Hambletonian. Is she your chance at redemption this year after the disappointment of last year?
Oh, there's no doubt. She's a freak of nature. She's no doubt the fastest, like 2-year-old I've ever drove. She could go a lot faster than she ever went. Even when she went in 50 in Lexington, she could have gone more that day. She won the Breeders' Crown here in 51 and changed just as fast as the age mare went. She's a very, very special horse, and her head is going to dictate what we're going to go from here. But the good part about it is that she's always been good at home, and she's always been good 1 week when she was away. She's always been good the first week, and the second week, she likes to be home. So I think hopefully, the schedule that Ronnie's going to map out for her is not going to have her away from home too much before the first Saturday in August.
Now, when you talk about freakishly fast and what a freak she is and how fast she is, help fans understand what it feels like when you're sitting behind that horse and you have all that power. What does that feel like for somebody who's never sat behind a horse that good?
I mean, it's a great feeling because, you can make moves and that there's nothing anybody can do about it. Like she's the kind of horse like that. Like, a lot of time you race horses and you need a little break here and there. You're going to have somebody let you go, or you're going to need a hole to win races. But with her, it doesn't even matter. They can try, when she's on her game and she behaves, they can try to park me. They can try to do whatever they want. It's not going to matter for her, and she's certainly a pleasure. It's a little bit nerve-wracking here and there, and you got to try to time the gate a little bit, but at the end of the year, she was getting better, and hopefully she's going to have a good winter training down and, try to work some kinks with that. She's got 6 months to work on that kind of stuff, and I'm sure that they'll have her all settled down for the 3-year-old season.
Now, after making $17.29 million last year to lead North America, we've got to start going again here in 2015. So let's take a look at some of your drives tonight here at the Meadowlands. We'll start in race 2, the Worldly Beauty, first division. Number 2, Safe from Terror, off 2 qualifiers, now to Burke. Matt Kikali drove in the qualifiers. She's the only 3-year-old in her division and faces Witch Dolly. What do you think about her chances tonight?
I commented on her on Twitter earlier. I think she's got a little bit of a chance, but it's tough. It's her first start as a 3-year-old. And like you said, she's facing Witch Dolly, which is probably the horse to beat in the series. So it's going to be definitely difficult for her, and then she's going to have to come up with a huge effort. But she's a nice filly. She's racing Sire Stake as a 2-year-old, so it's not like she's not a good horse. But she's got her work cut out.
Race 6 is the free-for-all trot. You have Appomattox, who was awesome the first time for Burke in 53, then disappointed last week with Matt driving. What happened last week, and can we turn that around tonight?
I think you definitely can turn it around. I'm not sure exactly what happened last week. I was on vacation not watching races, but I think he's the kind of horse that I might have caught him on a good day as far as being on the front. I don't think he's a horse that's going to be able to cut the mile every single week. So like 2 weeks in a row, and looking at the line, looked like he got used a little bit to get to the front last start. So maybe try to get for look for a cover trip tonight, and hopefully he responds a little bit better in the stretch.
Race 7 is the B2, B1, A2 pace for the mares. You have Beautiful Lady, who was second in the Jugette last September, been off almost a month, in the Tattersall sale in 10 days. How does she fit with this group?
I think she fits really good. At Chester, the lines are a little bit deceiving. It looks like she set the 2-all and finished 3rd and 4th her last couple starts. But both times, she didn't really want to go up the passing rail. And so I don't think it's a biggest issue. And as far as the almost a month off, that don't really bother me in the Berg Barn, because they train, and I'm sure she didn't miss any time. Maybe she had a week off, and has been training for 3 weeks, and they have so many horses that sometimes it's hard to get them in. So I'm not really that concerned with that. I think she'll give a good effort in here tonight.
12th race is the second division of the Worldly Beauty. You have Don't Tell Russ, who took a new lifetime mark last week in her first start with Burke. First time driving her, she looks pretty versatile from post 3. What are the plans for her tonight?
I mean, I haven't talked to nobody yet. I haven't talked to Ronnie about her, but from all of my friends that watch races, they told me, no, she was absolutely scary last week. So I think she's the horse to beat in here, and she's probably the one horse that can give Witch Dally a little run. You know, I'm not saying she can beat her because Witch Dally definitely has been impressive, but from what I heard, she's really nice filly, and like you said, she looks like on paper she's really versatile. So we'll see how it goes, and we'll see what everybody else is doing, and we'll make our plans behind the gate.
Well, we're really happy to have you back here at the Meadowlands. Glad you had a good time off here. Good luck tonight. It's Yannick Gingras, the Green Hornet, North America's leading driver. Thanks for being with us tonight, Yannick.
Thank you. Anytime.
All right, we'll have Wendy Ross next to tee up tonight's action after this.